Dub thee a nerdy knight of the round, sworn defenders of all who oppress the nerd. Now, onto the round table. Listen to what they say, for their words will guide you.
It's another nerdy night as my roundtable joins me, Ben, the ridiculous Riddick, and my co-host Sam, DJ Fluffkins Chen. Woo! And Mike, he has no nickname yet, DeMarco. I think Mike went in and changed this. Because I typically read my intro, and I'm looking at this, and it does not say the producer/abuser.
Changed it. I just copied it from the last one.
Look,
no,
Mike,
you did not.
You cannot
not from the last
pick
one, from
your
the template.
nickname. That is the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the rules of Nerdy Nights.
I'm going to the Trello right now.
So, guys, we're trying out a slightly different format tonight. Things might go off the rails really quickly, and I am leaving it to you in the Twitch chat to tell us when we've gone batshit crazy.
Sorry, Twitch chat.
So, good luck.
Yeah. Every
way,
single one person in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Hi, recruit.
We do have some great things that we want to talk about, but I thought before we get into that, I want to talk about what everyone's been doing this week. It's kind of like our active quests, but not really. Mike, what have you been up to?
It's totally our active quest. Well, I started The Division. I've played for one day.
Woo!
It's awesome.
You know why you started The Division?
I do know why I started The Division.
Because Sam and I are awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ben and Sam were super
gotta
gracious
toot my own.
to my poor ass.
To be fair, a combo of that was Ben being lazy.
Yeah, this is true. This is very, very, very true.
Which still works out well. I'm not opposed to this.
Yeah.
I too am lazy.
So I played The Division a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw Cloverfield, which was awesome. Everyone should see it.
I want to see it so bad, and now I want to see it even more.
And I also found out, once I saw it, I did not know before going in, but it was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, which, if anyone knows who that is, he's from Totally Rad Show back in the day. Awesome podcast. So I was pleasantly surprised, and he did a great job.
No, and I was watching the trailer, and I didn't realize it at first, but Jim from the newsroom is in it.
Ah, yes.
That is who that was. You're right. I knew he was super familiar, and I could not figure it out. Oh, that's awesome.
It's all that hair.
Yeah, he's
all the extra hair.
He's got a bunch of facial hair in that movie. He's one of the only 3 people in the movie. Yeah, Emmett.
Yeah. Sam, I hope you've been celebrating today like I've been celebrating today. It's Pie Day.
Pie in a box. I think I would rather have your pie. I won't lie. But this chicken pot pie was good.
That's good. Last night I made 3 peanut butter cup pies. This one's the gluten-free version, for me. And I made a cookie crust, got the Toll House pre-made cookie dough, lined the pan with it, baked it, and then made my little peanut butter filling and a homemade ganache on top.
So I have a request next time, next pseudo pie day, because today's rounded pie day. Next year will be rounded up pie day. Can you make one with cookie butter?
I could probably make one with cookie butter.
Because you just substitute the peanut butter with cookie butter. Yeah. But I'm just such a big fan of cookie butter.
See, I
want to see what it's
tempted to try, instead of peanut butter, doing Nutella.
Ooh,
that's fair.
I like Nutella.
Like I thought that would have been delicious.
Super rich.
But Lee does not like Nutella as much as she likes peanut butter.
That's
also, Sam, you say super rich. This is not that much better. You know what goes into the peanut butter cream filling?
Peanut butter and cream?
Peanut butter, cream cheese, heavy whipping cream, and half a bag of powdered sugar.
There you go. Feels like the first time I made buttermilk. Or, not buttermilk. Whatever that spread is. I can't
Not
remember.
buttermilk?
Whatever.
Not buttermilk.
No, it was buttercream. Buttercream.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Buttercream frosting.
Okay.
Which is butter, sugar. That's it. Or a couple of eggs.
So I've also been playing The Division, but I really want to talk about Pie Day for a little bit.
Sure.
Mhm.
I like pie.
Pie or cake, Mike?
Ooh.
Cake.
Cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pie is
Okay.
generally. I'm a chocolate person. That's my
Okay.
thing. And there's typically more variety, and I guess I don't know, but cake that typically I would more encompass with chocolate stuff. There's fewer
Okay.
chocolate pie type stuff, so I would go cake.
You know what you so not to veer too off topic, but it's
Mhm.
not off topic. Pie cakin'. Have you seen the pie cakin'?
No, I have not.
3 pies layered in a cake.
Oh God.
That sounds great.
It is the new turducken. It is the new turducken.
Okay.
It's the new turducken for diabetics.
Yes, I will die eating it. Perhaps a very happy man, but dead at the end.
How about you, Sam? Cake or pie?
So here's my dilemma. Density becomes the biggest factor.
okay.
And so for me, cake with traditional icing is too dense. The sugariness of the icing is too dense.
It's almost.
But if I get
I get.
yeah. But if it's light and then it's like a whipped cream kind of topping or something more whipped,
Yes.
then I really enjoy the cake because it's really light and fluffy. That being said, my real hybrid answer is ice cream cake.
I was gonna say it sounds like you're going in the direction of saying ice cream cake is your
Mhm.
favorite.
Yeah. That being said, there are definitely like good pies. Like I'll say this, like I'm guessing cheesecake really falls into the pie category more than it falls into
Which
the
is
cake
funny because
category.
that's another
Probably.
question I was going to ask you guys. What do you think cheesecake is? Because I agree, cheesecake is a goddamn pie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
well,
is not cake.
I think anything with like a solid crust is more or less in the pie category.
Yeah.
Cake doesn't really have crust. Cheesecake definitely has crust.
Mm-hmm.
So no, ice cream cake's probably number one. But like, you know what? A really nice lemon meringue pie is very light, is very fluffy. It's good.
It is.
Just saying.
See,
They don't call me DJ Fluffkins for nothing.
for me, like I love cake and I love ice cream cake specifically. But beyond that, I'm kind of in the same boat. If a lot of cake is just really rich, but there's so many interesting things you can do with pie. And one of the things that I always grew up with is my mom makes the best homemade from fresh picked key limes key lime pie.
Woo!
And just like nothing beats
Oh yeah.
a hot summer day. Mom comes in and is like, hey, I made key lime pie. This one's for you. My mother would literally make multiple key lime pies for each person in the household and then also for neighbors because she knew if the neighbors found out, they would come steal our key lime pie.
That's fair. You can't let just one dry on the windowsill. If you got
Yeah.
3, maybe you only get 1 stolen. It's a good idea.
Exactly.
It's a good plan.
So like that, I just have very fond memories of key
Right.
lime pie.
Well, so we're on ice cream, we're on pie. What are your thoughts on this a la mode thing? Do you like apple pie a la mode?
I like almost anything a la mode.
You like anything with ice cream.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I like warm things with ice cream, like on top. Like, yes, apple pie is a really good example, especially like fresh, warm apple pie. I also really like it on fresh made brownies.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but the caveat is the baked good has to be warm.
Oh, exactly. Like you really wouldn't do it with like a key lime pie.
No. Because, I mean, the way my mom did key lime pie, the key lime pie pretty much sat in the freezer and we ate it almost frozen.
No, exactly.
That's what made it so amazing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I wouldn't want ice cream on that. It would just... What's the point?
I will say there's one thing that I was Googling this like a couple of years ago, and I made it for one of my roommate's birthdays. It's been a hit ever since. It's like a low-fat, low-sugar, and it's a chocolate trifle.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
That being said, like it's as low-fat, low-sugar as you can make chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Cool Whip.
It still has taste.
Yeah, I mean, and fruit, but it's like I really like the idea of like soaking up some cake with like fruit and then having like a light whip topping to it. It's like you can just devour this stuff, which is bad because it's really easy to devour.
Yeah. Defeats the purpose of going the healthy route. But I mean, you guys, listeners, you're here to listen to us talk about games, tech, stuff like that. You're not here to listen to us talk about pie, even though pie is delicious. We've all been playing a lot of The Division. And viewers of the show know that I have been a very harsh critic of everything The Division related to this point.
Understatement.
I mean, but you can't blame me that much. There's plenty of reason to doubt the success of The Division.
Well, okay.
Yes, there was a healthy cautiousness, I think, is okay.
I feel like part of where you're coming from also was this idea of like not bandwagoning too hard on something. I think that is always a risky move as a gamer, is to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to jump on this bandwagon because everyone else says it's going to be good. Way to set up for disappointment.
Yep.
Mighty number 9. Yeah.
So waiting in a
So I want to preface this portion of the show by saying I've been playing a lot of The Division. I do not yet take back anything that I've said.
Okay. I don't blame you.
Because I have not seen the endgame content yet, nor can I, speak to how much I'm going to play the game once I hit level 30. Which is like 5,000 XP away from happening. Which is not a lot.
Which is like nothing.
Yeah.
But let's be fair, like, it's not necessarily like, I mean, at that point you've played most of the game. You've played the single player, like, content portion of the game. Mm-hmm. So, was it worth it?
The single player content that I've been playing is awesome. It's a lot better than other games I have played. I still wish there was a little more. I don't care about my character.
I think that's a problem because he doesn't talk. I was really disappointed in that.
And that's what I was going to say next is
no voice.
You're a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
For sure. And
Marcus Phoenix.
And not that you can't do that though. Like Link doesn't
Marcus
talk.
Phoenix
and
talks.
people care about Link.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're not like Marcus.
Oh,
Phoenix.
okay.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of an issue for me. Like, even though Destiny was not a good story, I did actually care about the character I was playing as. Mm-hmm. But a little different. Let me finish before you start making faces. A little differently, because in Destiny, there's something that kind of goes into your death. It's like, you died, but because you're infused with the light, they explain it. As far as if you die and come back. Hold on, Sam. Whereas here, in The Division, I don't feel like there's... Like, I feel like Destiny explained it enough to where a penalty for death is not that expected. But in The Division, there is no penalty for death. And I feel like
that's a really picky mechanic to work off of.
You mean like story-wise?
Every game is like that.
No. But not in the same way. Because you can die and be revived, really quickly in one scenario. But if you go down, you could still be revived. Or there's this trick where if both of your teammates go down, whoever has the bigger bleed out bar gets to stay alive while the other person gives up and respawns in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of a dumb mechanic. But I guess I don't really know exactly how to explain what it is I feel about this whole death thing. Death, I don't like it. I don't feel like it's punishing enough.
Okay.
Well,
I think see, you hit on a point that we talked about a while ago, which is like how much does being grounded in some form of reality actually hinder your game, right? Because we talked about like your criticism of realism in the game, which, to be fair, you can't criticize Destiny for because it's not reality.
Right.
So I get where you're going with it, but I also think it doesn't make sense that I can be shot in any game and picked back up, and then shot, and then picked back up, and then shot, and then picked back up infinitely.
Right.
I don't know. There's something about the way it's done in Division that is different than other games that I can't quite place.
That's like saying, okay, you know what? I'm Mario. I jump down this infinite hole and die, but I can just come back with this green mushroom.
No.
I think he's more talking about balance than the effect of it.
Oh, you're talking about balance.
Like you're talking about mechanically how death affects you as a player and the ability to be revived, right?
Right.
Is that like? Are you judging it too harshly based on the game as a whole? Because it's like the effects of death are different between what you've been playing and like the Dark Zone.
Right.
Right.
And that's why I did preface this by saying I haven't played any of the end game content.
Right.
I could very easily change my mind once I start going into the Dark Zone more. Mm-hmm. My fear is still there in the fact that once I complete, I think I have 2 missions left. Once I complete those 2 missions and once I complete all the little encounters, what is there to do for me in the single player?
Right. At that point, it sounds like we're just waiting for raids then, like really. Which is kind of disheartening, but...
And I mean, you had to wait for Destiny's raid too.
Right.
But I don't know. I find myself growing concerned. I'm having fun playing what I've played. But I'm getting kind of worried that I'm going to get to the end and all of a sudden it's going to be the end and I'm not going to care that much anymore.
Right. I'm already at the point where I've only played 13, 14 levels. Like I've only been on the west side of the map at this point. And I'm running around doing all the side missions and doing the missions and like upgrading my boo and everything. And I feel like already that's kind of enough for me. Like looking at this like it's an Assassin's Creed or like it's, just an open world game, going around this map and doing all of these pickups and missions, if I finish all of that 100%, like I'll feel pretty happy. And then I still have Dark Zone stuff to go do. And that is more content for me to play.
And that's where I'm saying like I'm having a lot of fun with the single player because it does play to what I love about Assassin's Creed.
And you do have the decent multiplayer aspect of that too. Being able to go in with friends and do those missions and stuff is still cool.
Yeah.
It's the unity we always wanted.
Unity. So I mean, I guess that's kind of my concern. It's funny that you bring up that you've only been on the west side of the west side of the map.
Side of the map.
I think it was the second night that I was playing. I was up to level like 10. And it was the first night that my buddy Keith had gotten on to play, and him and I just completely we went from one end of the map, cut through the Dark Zone, and each part of Manhattan is broken up by level. Like each neighborhood is a level bracket. So it's like the level bracket that Keith and I started in was a 7 to 9 level bracket. And then there's a Dark Zone entrance there. And we cut straight across the Dark Zone to the level 30 bracket area, which in the Division, if a level 30 character like pretends that he's about to look at you, you die.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you're down. they could shoot in a
for
completely
HPs.
different direction, and and you're dead. But Keith and I, we snuck into this area of the main map again,
The east side.
and we went to the east side and we unlocked every single safe house. And I have to say that is one of some of the most fun that I've had playing a game in a while. Just for the sheer fact that him and we would get to one safe house, unlock it, open up the map, and literally plot our course, trying to avoid the encounter areas so that we could get to the next safe house without running into enemies.
So you literally made your own game out of the open world. Yeah.
And it was a freaking blast. Like, just trying to figure all that out.
That's
was
worth
a lot
the price
of
of
fun.
admission right there.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Sam, how much have you gotten to play?
Not enough. I mean, the thing is, like, I've gotten to level probably like 16. The problem is, like, half of that is being power level. Like, half of that was having like 2 level 20s run a mission with me, and it wasn't even
I
like
was one of those.
3 level 20s running. No, but yeah, no. But part of it was like that's been my biggest complaint, and I know that'll change once I hit 30. But it's that like once my friends are level 25 and I'm level 20 or 15, like we're out of a reasonable range to play.
Yeah.
To play together.
Me and Ben were talking about that last night.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because I would love to run around the Manhattan that Mike is in and just like complete encounters with him and stuff like that. But even though there are those level bracketed areas, the game does still scale. So like now, even in that like 7 to 9 level area, because I'm almost 30. Every character I run into at the lowest level is level 24.
Yeah. No. The game definitely scales. I mean, I think there's a part of this where you look at it and you think, what if you just looked at the opening part of the game as you just had to run through the entire story? Like the real, like, because I think if you do at least the majority of the missions and then some of the side missions, you probably get pretty close to 30. There's probably not a huge amount of grindness to it, other than like getting the supplies for each individual wing, that really drives you to have to like grind.
Oh, I unlocked everything in my boo last night too.
I know. I mean, like that, and that's one of my problems is I spent a bunch of time like getting the super upgrade in the health one, in the medical wing, instead of like just doing more missions and leveling faster.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, that probably was a mistake, but it's like, that's what I wanted to do.
Now here's the thing, Sam. I was kind of agreeing with you, but I'm level 29. I have 2 missions left, and one of the the second to last mission is recommended level 28, and I've done a lot of side missions in order to get to level 29. So I think the experience that you get from the levels is not necessarily as great as you are making it out to be currently.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't gotten there. That's the problem, right?
No, I know. That's.
I think there is a curve though too. Like I've spent most of my time doing side missions and encounters and stuff, and when I probably should have spent more time doing missions, because in the missions you get like 500 supplies off of one go, and I'm doing encounters where you're getting like 60 at pop. So it's like it takes a lot more time doing side mission stuff to get supplies and power up your character that way with perks and talents and stuff than it would be to just go through missions.
You can't unlock or really play through until you're a higher level.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that one I'm on right now that I didn't finish.
That's where friends come in.
Is that the one that I left you with last night?
Yeah, I couldn't beat it.
Oh, so I should have stayed on and just gotten through it.
It doesn't matter. I just need to go level like one more level and then I could probably do it. Or go craft a new gun.
You could also do matchmaking.
Yeah, I could. But randoms.
Who needs randoms?
I don't play with strangers.
I feel like the game does have a legitimate challenge though. I like in how difficult the game can be. So that I do appreciate. Like it's not a walkthrough. It's not a it's not a cake.
Yeah.
Bleh, it's not a cakewalk. It's not a walk through the park.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
that do.
another thing that I've been enjoying is anytime Kenny and I have gotten on to play, or when Chris and I play, we're literally, it's like we enter a room and without even saying anything, we split off into opposite directions, and then we're saying, okay, so we've got this person, this person, this person here, this person, this person, this person here. I'm going to drop a turret there, and then I'm going to focus my fire on the guys up top. You drop your turret here and focus on these guys, and we should be good. And it's amazing when some of those plans work so freaking well, and there's a room of like 10 people, and they're down in like a minute.
Yeah, it feels like what I wanted Siege to be.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I kept telling Kenny when I was playing. It's like, this is what I wanted with Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
like, because that's what
tactical...
Rainbow Six games were like.
Yeah,
maybe that's why
to be
Siege
fair,
is different, because they
my
worked on
favorite.
this.
Yeah, maybe. and I mean, if we're fair, my favorite Rainbow Six games were developed by one of the same developers.
Yeah.
Is this one the what is it, Red Tornado or whatever?
I think
it's
so.
called?
Yeah. That's one of the devs for it.
And it's like, this is what I wanted. But I hope it continues to keep me. I mean, I'm gonna get the platinum trophy in it.
Oh yeah,
because those
easily.
are freaking easy.
Super easy platinum.
Yeah, the only part I'm really worried about here is that like how playing out the DLC component will be. Like that's my biggest question, specifically because Xbox is going to get it a month in advance. And now,
really?
like,
I
know, Ben, you were talking about the possibility of, like, before, maybe not now, but before, of getting it for both consoles because you have friends on both or who aren't cross console, but like, I think that could also be a make or break, right? Because if they're going to introduce stuff that really is a key factor in making the end game content interesting, it may really suck to be on PS4 and to be like, all right, well,
yeah, but 1 month is like, go play Destiny for 1 month while we wait. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if I get enthralled with another game, I'm not.
I was going to say it might be to Ubisoft.
I don't know. We say that you say that all the time about Destiny, but you keep playing.
I haven't gone back to Destiny in 2 weeks because I've been playing The Witcher. So,
true.
Dude, I haven't gone back to Destiny in like 4 months.
No, I know.
We're gonna jump right back on when the light level goes up.
Because I have friends on it. Hey, what's up, Matt? How are you doing in the chat there? Everyone say hi to Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, see how excited everyone is.
Ben's face is stupid. I'm just kidding.
So anyway, about the Division, at least, Sam sent us an article today that he wants to talk about.
Yeah,
it
was
that's like
really
I skimmed through it
great
because I was
piece.
sleeping all day.
Okay.
But
I mean, it's done really
It was
well.
the Polygon article, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Polygon did an interview. I think they interviewed the CEO of Ubisoft. I don't know who else they interviewed about it, but like, basically how it starts is him saying that at Ubisoft, there's like an internal mindset of like Ubisoft before the Division is released and Ubisoft after the Division is released. And it breaks down like a lot of the strategy that Ubisoft's been trying to lay out in the last couple of years, successful or unsuccessful, which includes games like The Crew and how they're thinking about this as a, like, how do we reimagine the open world game, right? Like, that's, it really feels like that's the niche that Ubisoft's trying to target now, and more now with the Division of a persistent online open world game. And so it's really interesting to see that, like, to see how they've thought about it and how they develop things and how you see things like, Unity, which flopped, but flopped for specific reasons, and how they may adapt to that going forward. And that's, I mean, we had Chris on the show, a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago, like the statement that he made that's basically exactly what this article was, is, well, the Division won't fail because Ubisoft can't afford to let it fail. Like, it's their last remaining hope that they survive in the realm that they're doing. And that's basically what the CEO said was their mindset, was that, like, we're putting everything into this because this is the genre of game that we
Help me, Division 1 Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a really interesting piece. You should definitely go read it if you haven't. But I mean,
it is
what,
a really great article.
what do you guys think about this like mindset of the persistent open world game, specifically as it relates to Ubisoft?
Well, I think the first thing I want to say is that, is it really a persistent open world? That's not what I've understood persistent open world to mean. Like, The Division, I don't think, is a persistent open world game.
So what is your definition of a persistent open world game?
A game where you affect change in the world and it stays. So, like, Division's, everything's instant, so it's not persistent.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky theoretically would be persistent, because if someone goes to a planet and names it, and then someone else ends up there a year later, it's still there. So that would be persistent. But maybe I'm wrong.
But in that context, is there a game that is persistent open world?
I mean, in the same way that No Man's Sky is, no. But something like World of Warcraft, where the players are part of a story where the dragon causes the cataclysm, and that changes the world for the rest of the game going forward, that would be persistent. Or Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn, where they caused the cataclysm because the first game sucked, and they completely remade it. And that's a persistent, story-driven thing that the players were a part of.
Or even if in The Division, I could run into Mike in the world while playing, just randomly. I feel like that would be closer to persistent. I can't run into random people while running around Manhattan.
No.
Well,
and even the Dark Zone, you'd have to
orchestrate it. In the Dark Zone, but that's it.
But you still have to orchestrate it. We wouldn't naturally end up in the same instance of that bracket every time we played.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think yeah, maybe semantically it's not, but it's not that far off. Like the progression, even and maybe I don't know how much you've unlocked in your base of operations, but the base of operations fundamentally changes every time you unlock something. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of cool how they built that out.
I agree. I keep running into random new places in my boo, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's cool.
Well, no, like Chris pointed this out to me. Like early on in your boo, there's some guy going crazy by the crafting station, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's just sobbing uncontrollably. Mm-hmm. He's just going crazy. And then when you build counseling in your medical wing, he's sitting there getting counseling.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Maybe not persistent by other definitions, but I think it's definitely a step towards that direction.
I do think that this, again, so far without seeing endgame content, this is a step in the direction that Ubisoft did need to make, especially because the whole time playing it, all I could think of is, oh, this is what I imagined Watch Dogs would be like. Oh, this is how I imagined this would work in Watch Dogs. Oh, this is how I imagined this would work in Watch Dogs. I legitimately believe that The Division is what Ubisoft wanted Watch Dogs to be.
But a single player,
So that's the thing. How much of Watch Dogs did either of you play?
I didn't play it all. Not yet. I'm going to before the second one comes out.
Okay. Ben?
Half. I would say half.
I mean, how much of the multiplayer did you play?
Only what I was forced to.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I think when Ubisoft was looking at Watch Dogs was their big miss. Because they created a system where you could hop into someone else's game. Right? Which was really cool, except when you realize that, sometimes, the way the gameplay worked, it really pissed you off. You didn't, I ran away when other people were around. I did not want to be in other people's worlds because they kind of, pissed me off, or they would hide somewhere where, there was no way I could find them, or, there were all these different factors that made it not work. But that's what they were trying for, which I think, in The Division, you see a different evolution, right? You have a zone where you can encounter someone else's game, but you can't just hop into someone else's game. Now, that being said, did you ever play on the mobile app?
Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was my favorite part. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't have enough friends playing it at the time, so it wasn't like I got a lot of use out of it. But like, I had a friend on Xbox when I was on PS4 playing Watch Dogs, and I could go into his game, and I could do the CTOS stuff, and that was really cool. Like, if they merged a lot of different things together, it could be cool.
Yeah, I actually ended up using that a lot. Citizen PM in the chat is saying they actually reused assets from Watch Dogs in The Division, which I definitely see, especially since it looks like they haven't even upgraded the graphics since the Watch Dogs. But, you know, whatever.
Shots fired! It's okay.
I still don't think it's a particularly pretty-looking game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks fine.
The thing is, like, could it look better? Absolutely. But we've kind of fleshed through this a little bit. Like, what's the barometer?
Yeah.
But
as far as Ubisoft goes, I can definitely see a through line through what they've done in the past 10 years, 8 years. Like, from Assassin's Creed till now, you can kind of see where they've been going and heading to. And I think the Division is probably
a culmination of it all.
Right, like, it's a milestone that they've hit since, like, Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Now they've hit Division, and now who knows where they're going to go next. Like, they're going to continue that.
And that's why I'm excited for the next Assassin's Creed. Like, and it's not going to come out this year, which is good. And, you know, maybe it's the last one, who knows. But if they legitimately took learnings from this and can make it feel more multiplayer, like, it'd be great.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Well, aside from multiplayer, I think they're finally going to sit down, since they're taking time with the new Assassin's Creed, I think they're finally going to sit down and kind of re-examine what they want that game to be. Because, like, at its core, it's been the same since the first one. And they had a lot of ideas in the first game that didn't pan out, but they kept kind of following them and sticking them in that hole. Now I think they're going to redesign it from the ground up and really make a new game, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, I love the story of Assassin's Creed.
Oh, me too.
Like, I do too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the main reason I play it.
Yeah.
The weird part is, like, what I really do is I'll play through it, but, like, it was really good when I was playing through it with Chris, because I was over at his house when Black Flag came out, and we played it in 2 weeks. And the best part was, like, he would explain to me all, like, the lore. And, like, the lore is really interesting. I'm just too lazy to go read it for myself.
It's really deep now too. They keep adding comics and shit to it, and it's getting almost too big.
Anyone excited for the movie? Anyone excited for the movie?
Yeah, I am. I am excited about the movie.
Did you see that they're talking about a sequel already?
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
They're doing a VR experience for the movie too, like a VR game.
Ooh.
You know, Mike mentioned comics.
I did mention comics.
In the Assassin's Creed world, I kind of want to use that as a moment to plug. Was it next week or the week after? It's the week after, right?
The week after, I think, yeah. Daredevil.
It's a Wednesday.
Daredevil Batman week.
Daredevil Batman week. We are relaunching the Nightly Novels podcast, which is super exciting. You'll be able to catch that two Wednesdays from now. So, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday?
Yes.
You know, I should have looked at a calendar before I started talking about this, and I'm kind of regretting not looking at a calendar first.
Yeah, I think it's the
23rd.
I think isn't that the same day Daredevil comes out? Is it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And then Batman's on Thursday night.
Yep.
At midnight or something.
Mm.
Crazy.
So Nightly Novels is coming back. It's our weekly comic book club. Essentially, my sister Anna and I will be reading a new trade paperback book that you can get. And essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach people that anyone can get into comics. You don't have to be so bogged down by the fact that X comic has 8 million issues and you don't know where to start. We're going to teach you where to start, and we're going to teach you what to look for in those comics. So be sure to pay attention to that. And I think we're doing some talks about comic spoiler casts and stuff like that. So we'll see where all of the comic book content goes. But as a huge comic book fan, I'm excited about that.
You know what I would...
What? Go for it. No, I'm done.
Oh, what I would love at some point, and it's not like it's a nightly novels thing specifically, but like I would like a primer to like how to understand the world of comics within a specific like canon, right? Like I have a friend who for a while was writing for some like subset of Batman, right? And I don't understand how that works. I really don't. Like there's a main storyline and there's other storylines and different writers and different like it'd be great to just like get a primer to like how comics work.
Okay.
From like, or maybe even the history, maybe even just the history, because I just it's intimidating. It really is.
You can do like a retrospective of all of the lines of Batman.
I mean, in one sense, I can see that like I can pick up a series of whatever comic and enjoy it for what it is. But like now that we live in a world where there's like movies interspersed with TV shows, interspersed with the comics that still exist and all this other stuff, like it'd be good to know like what the right starting point was.
I think that's one of the points that we're trying to do with nightly novels is, I mean, with the release of Daredevil, the first comic that we're reading is Daredevil Yellow by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. And it is, I think it's a great primer and insight to why the character of Daredevil is who he is. Because the entire series kind of goes through each superhero has a major loss, and this is Daredevil's major loss that makes him who he is. So it's a mixture of an origin story with an actual like story, so to speak.
I'm sorry, when you said Daredevil Yellow, my immediate thought was, is there a Daredevil Red and Blue as well?
No.
Oh, come on, Ben. Come on.
No, but there is Spider-Man Blue and Captain America White. Yeah. Not a red yet, though.
Thanks for killing the joke.
I know. And Hulk Gray.
You're mixing comics and video games, and it doesn't.
Oh no, you can't do that.
They don't go together.
Comic book video.
Of course not.
Not a success.
So that's something that is one of the goals, is because comics have been thrust so into the mainstream now. I want people to get into the world that I love, and that's what I'm trying to do with nightly novels. So I hope that I can see some of you guys there. But anyways, I think Mike, you had something you wanted to talk about this week, I think.
I did. You want to go into my topic? Or do we want to talk about
speed topic?
Your topic.
No.
We might skip one at the end.
Who has topics?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, let's talk about my topic.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay. This is news that just kind of broke today, the day we're recording this, which is Pi Day. Sam, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think there is ever any chance that I will be able to play The Division with you on my Xbox and you playing on your PS4?
I mean, I know where you're going with it. I think the short answer is no.
Yeah. All right.
I know that's where they're going, but nope.
You know, and I'm pretty sure Mike agrees with that statement, right?
I mean, I think there's The Division. No, you guys will never play The Division together across the two consoles.
Destiny 2, maybe.
Maybe.
Unlikely based on development cycle, but
yeah, I think it could be possible eventually, with the right developer and the right publisher. Maybe.
Well, and to be fair, Activision actually already hinted at this originally, right?
Yeah.
Where they were saying like one of their major issues in cross-platforming was specs and all this other stuff, and they thought about it and they had to pass. Yeah. Short term, no.
So the reason I bring this up is today Xbox announced that they are actually working on making cross-platform play something that works.
Well, they announced that they were opening their platform to letting that happen.
Okay. Rocket League between Xbox and PC is happening. That's completely true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the breach of their thing, is that Rocket League.
Well, the specific game of Rocket League.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I honestly thought it already worked that way with Rocket League, but I guess I was wrong.
It might not have had a name, and now it does.
I
think I remember hearing about that too, but it wasn't like a big deal. It was just a thing.
But I think what's really interesting about this story is that Microsoft is like, look, we would love to do this with other games, but
and other consoles, other home consoles.
Yeah, but Sony and all of these other developers and publishers are going to have to, they said, participate in order for these games to be played across the two platforms. So, do you think that Sony would be game for this? No pun intended.
Okay, one thing that is a pet peeve of mine that it's not that it annoys me too much, but it's just that people forget that this is not a new thing. Final Fantasy XI, which is 14 years old now, you can play that on PC, Mac, PS2, and Xbox 360, and PS3, and they all play together. They're all on the same servers.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy 14 is the same way with PS4 and PC.
And Rocket League was the same with at least PS4 and PC.
Right. So,
the reality of this is Xbox's desperation.
Yeah.
You know, that's the real point, is that you got to think Live was the most successful multiplayer until now, until PS4 basically, until PSN in the PS4 format took over. And a lot of that has a lot to do with other things, not just PSN.
I was going to say it cannot possibly be just because PSN is a superior service because it is.
And it's not. No. It's not.
But also doesn't have half as much money put into it as Xbox's service does.
And that's been everyone's argument, right? Is that like what 2 year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when we saw it go down for Christmas, like Xbox was live within another day. PSN was down for 3 days. Like you saw a difference, but I think you know when you talked about some of this, or when you think about some of the stuff we talked about last week with the unified platform, everything like that, like Microsoft is trying to make a very strategic play in the gaming market, and this is just part of it. It's smart on their part. I hope people will adopt, because here's my grand vision, right? I would love it if PS4 was my console. I could have a souped-up gaming PC running Windows 10, and then maybe like an NX somewhere, and I could get all of my content that way, and I wouldn't have to like buy each console and buy each this and make other choices that I don't want to have to spend money on. And so, if that's where this is going, perfect.
No, I definitely see this as Microsoft trying to catch up, and the way they're trying to catch up is to kind of jump ahead and be like, this is how everyone sees things are going to be eventually. We're trying to be the first ones there, and we want everyone to follow us there.
And here's my like catch point when it comes to Microsoft on this, is that I think if you look and think about how you would craft your platform in the gaming market today, it would be similar to what Microsoft's going for. The real problem is the history of the last 10 to 20 years working against that.
Yeah.
And that's something I think only time will tell to see how successful they are.
Well, it's the same thing that happened when the Xbox One was getting announced. Like, their plans were very, like, ahead of their time.
Grandiose.
Like, that was, like, that is the direction we want things to go eventually, but a lot of people are still afraid of it, and it's not time for it yet. And it blew up in their faces.
Rewound. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're still trying, so it's just not as risky, I guess.
Quake Smash in the chat just says PC Master Race. And trust me, no one here is disagreeing with that. It's just interesting that this is something that is happening right now.
AKA, I don't know how to feel about Oculus Rift yet. Did you see that piece today? I know we're almost out of time. Did you see that piece today?
Which one?
The one on PlayStation was like, hey, PSVR is going to be inferior to Oculus, but we don't care. We think it's going to be accessible.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all.
No, I don't.
Yeah, hopefully that means it's also going to be cheaper, because I've been afraid that tomorrow, I think, is the show. Like, they're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're talking about tomorrow.
So I'm excited, but I'm worried it's going to be $500, $600, and they're going to price themselves out of the rate. Yeah.
$200. What did I say? $200.
You said less than 2. You thought it would be less than 2.
I said less than 3.
$199.99 is still less than 2.
I'm thinking like
That's
250. And if
I'm
it's not,
I'm thinking 4. 354.
that seems more realistic now. And I'm afraid
They said about the price of a new console.
that's too much. It's not a new console. That's the problem. And they're not gonna be able to sell it that way.
I mean, you can
No,
get
but
a
see,
DS
here's the
for
thing.
$199.99.
If
That's a new console.
if you get
3DS console.
if you have Oculus at 6 and you have the Vibe at 800,
Yeah.
VR at 400 seems like a steal, even when you have to layer on the cost of the PS4.
But
Because
it doesn't though.
Minimum
Not to a
of Oculus
mainstream.
is still $1,000.
Like
What?
Vive and Oculus obviously like they price themselves out of mainstream. They immediately price themselves out. They're getting early adopters and that's it. Even people that wanted it aren't going to pay that much for it. They're only getting early adopters. If PSVR does that too, we're going to see that PSVR come and go, and we're going to be waiting for a second model for another 6 or 7 years. Till the PS5
I
or
think
6.
the hype is real. I think the hype is real.
There's
I'll
no
let
way
it-
they're going to
okay.
sell. There's no
I'll
way
buy
they're going to sell enough to call it successful if it's as much as a PS4.
I still think I mean
I hope you're right.
I hope
I
so
don't-
too,
I-
because I want
think
one
it's
and I
gonna be
can't pay
cheaper.
$400 for it.
Or I think it's going to be more expensive.
Ah,
Although
Yeah.
I am absolutely more on the hype bandwagon now than before. I don't know why.
so
I-
what are the odds of
nothing's
seeing No
really
Man's Sky
changed.
for it tomorrow?
I'm just kind of excited now.
I played a bunch of it at PSX this year and just had a freaking blast. So I want it to be something that I could reasonably justify getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Born on a PS4.
Yep. Well, I mean,
You just need cardboard for that.
I think this is a good place to kind of wrap up for the evening. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's
Sure.
fine.
Do you have any other top hits that you want to talk about with this cross plus? Oh my God! I'm not even drinking today.
Cross-network
Cross-platform play or VR.
Cross-network play will be good. I will enjoy it.
It'll sound great if people adopt it. If not, it's just going to be this footnote that's like, it's a thing that's available, but nobody's using it.
Yep. Kind of like the Xbox Kinect and PlayStation Move.
Hey, I still love my Move.
You know, I
Gamers
mean,
wearing headgear for hours. I don't
there was
see
more
it.
to play with it. The Move will be relevant again when PSVR comes out, right?
Sam Grizzle in the chat is saying he just doesn't see it at all. VR seems like a gimmick to him, and you know, I don't disagree. I want it to be better though.
I think it's a see and believe thing. I haven't even played it, and I'm a believer in it, but I think the consensus so far has been it seems very gimmicky until you sit down and play, like Valkyrie on it or something.
And
then
that's
like,
exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Sam Grizzle, if you ever get a chance to play Eve Valkyrie on PlayStation VR, do it, because I feel like that'll change a lot of opinions. Just because like those are the kinds of games that I want to play. I want to play Eve Valkyrie. I want to play Ace Combat. I want to play freaking Mech Assault game or Mech Warrior game.
No Man's
on
Sky on VR.
No,
Yes.
no.
I want that game.
I
It
know.
looks so good.
I think that's going to be the biggest flop. I think that'll be a bigger flop than PSVR.
I think it's only going to be
Calling
a
it right now.
flop because people think it's going to be something. They think it's going to be like a AAA title, and it's not. It's not ever what it was said to be.
Hey, I don't disagree with you, but the hype train has left the station.
Now it
That's
could
all I'm
also. You could also say
And-
that about Minecraft, and look what happened to
Hold on,
Minecraft.
real quick. I want to address what Sam Grizzle
Fair.
is saying. He's saying everyone wants it to be great, but headgear for hours. Here's the thing: you shouldn't be playing video games for hours at a time.
Technically
Ben,
not.
how much Destiny have you played?
I'm not saying that I don't do it, but from that standpoint, you should really look at any kind of gaming. You shouldn't be doing it for a long amount of time. Is every person going to sit down and play with the headgear for hours? No, but there are going to be your gamers that do. And I think that is a big thing. And I would like to point out the the PlayStation VR that I got to use is incredibly light.
Oh, it's
like that is something that I was saying. That was one of my big naysays about PlayStation VR for a long time is, God damn, this thing is going to be so heavy on my head that I imagine myself like leaning back and just snapping my neck.
And that's always the thing too. We've had VR for years. Like I played VR back during Otronicon, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I played like Quake or something. But the line that had to be crossed, which is what we're getting to right now with all this new VR stuff, is the tech is so small and light. Like it's so we crossed a line that's a big deal for what VR is going to be.
And I don't see the new VR stuff being that much bulkier than some of the nice gaming headsets that you wear.
Here's all I'm going to say, and maybe this is the point he's trying to make: go into the bathroom.
Yeah,
you'll be wired in. I'm take it off to go to the bathroom. That's going to be kind of annoying for a gamer.
And I will say this: wearing headphones every time I game, it's.
Get on the wireless headphone bandwagon, Ben. Wireless headphones. But no, I agree. It's comfortable. I mean, I think eye strain may be a legit issue out of all of this.
And I mean, that was the downfall of one of the downfalls of the Virtual Boy, other than it sucking.
Yeah, one of.
But no, I think there is definitely some. I understand what Sam Grizzle is saying, but I also think that there are going to be people that just don't care.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think those are going to be. It's going to be a larger amount of people than you might think.
And I think at the cost, the people that are going to be getting it are going to be the ones that don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're going to be the dedicated ones that are going to pay $500 for this thing, or $600 for the Oculus, or $800 for the Vive, and that's just how it's going to go. They're going to.
We've woken the Vive.
Vibe.
All right, guys. It has been a fantastic night. Don't forget to catch us on other content. Mike has his Let's Play podcast where Mike and I have been playing Final Fantasy VII. It's my first time ever playing through a Final Fantasy game. So it's definitely
Yay! Boo!
It's definitely worth watching. New episodes post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, which means that there's a new episode coming out tomorrow. If you're listening to the Twitch stream, and there's a new episode coming out tomorrow if you're listening to this on iTunes the day it releases.
Just assume it's always tomorrow, unless it's Friday or Saturday. Unless it's Saturday or Sunday. There won't be one tomorrow. Shut up, odd day.
But no, it's been really good, and I think I think
we've taken a week off.
A great time. Gosh, that's what we should do. We should set up a topic command. William Wonka, thank you for doing that and making me think a topic command is a good idea.
Oh, wow.
Now that we've abandoned topics.
Yep.
We haven't abandoned topics.
We did, yeah.
They're just
we still had them.
Structured.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can find us all over the internet. Mike is on Twitter at Mike5. That's MAIKV on Twitter. And you can follow Sam pretty much everywhere on the internet as DJ Fluffkins. And I mean that literally. You can find him everywhere on the internet.
Yay.
Just everywhere. And damn it, I need to rewrite this because
ridiculous.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at BeRidiculous. That's BRIDDICKULOUS. And you can follow everything Nerdy Nights related at nerdy_nights. And of course, all of the content, including Let's Play podcasts, nightly novels, and this show can be found at www.nkrn.org. Thanks again, everyone. It has been an excellent night, and I officially dubbed the Nerdy Knights of the Round. Go out and defend the realm of the Nerdy Knight. And until next week, remember, it's dangerous to go alone.